Rebound Wade. The Miami Heat, they've done it. They win their first championship in franchise history. A liner off Daddy's glove into center field. The Florida Marlins have won the World Series.
You want to talk sports? You logged on to the right place. The John Ech Show on 247miami.tv.
The Philadelphia Inquirer report, LaShawn McCoy hung up on Chip when he tried to call him this week. The Inquirer standing by their story, citing two sources familiar with this telephone call.
Man, listen, I'm not talking to Chip. We got nothing to talk about. He can't call me. He can't shake my hand. He can't say to me. So, that's simple as that. I don't dislike him. I don't have nothing against him. But there's nothing we can talk. There's nothing for us to talk about.
Why can't Chip shake your hand? You said today you wanted to.
You said what?
You said today that he wanted
Listen, man, Chip can't shake at all. Nothing.
When people want to make up false stories about people calling someone during the week and him hanging up on me, I just think, people trying to get Twitter hits or things like that and make themselves significant when it doesn't happen. No, I never called McCoy this week. But I think it was the Inquirer. Is that you?
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
All right, welcome to the John Ech Show. That was wonderfully produced there, Mr. Producer here, Mikey Mike. Oh, thank you very much. December 14th, 2015. Incredible. Christmas right around the corner. All the kids are excited. Hopefully they're good because, Santa won't be coming for those that are bad. You still...
You got Krampus?
So, you know how the song goes. How does the song go? The Santa song, what's it called?
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Better watch out.
There you go.
Better not cry.
Is that the Bruce Springsteen version?
Yeah, that one.
All right, the John Ech Show right here on 247miami.tv. Mikey Mike producing the show. It's getting better every week. It's getting better. The show's getting better every week. A lot of things going on in the world of sports. I think what came out right now, the New York Times came out with an article saying that Major League Baseball is not reinstating Pete Rose. So I haven't read the article yet, but the New York Times has it. So I guess Commissioner Manfred is not convinced or doesn't have enough evidence or facts, not evidence, facts that he could say let's reinstate the great Pete Rose back into Major League Baseball. But today's theme is should Pat Riley make a trade to get another scorer? And that stems from the Heat's 3-game losing streak. And the Heat won yesterday, snapping that 3-game losing streak. But the Heat lost some terrible games on this streak here. They lost against the Wizards, they lost against Charlotte, and they lost against the Pacers. But yesterday they won, so that snaps that 3-game losing streak. And we'll get to the Heat a little later with the mayor, who's going to be on the show at 4 o'clock. And the sub-theme of the show, Mikey Mike, is, and I'm curious for your opinion on this one. Are the Bengals cursed? Are the Cincinnati Bengals cursed? Another season down the tubes, it looks like. And if, as you all know, Andy Dalton went down with a thumb injury, and it looks like he's going to be out for the season.
Yeah. What was it? It was years back ago. I think TJ Hushmanzada, who was the wide receiver at the time for the Bengals. I think they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in some sort of game.
Right.
And he picked up the terrible towel and started cleaning his shoes with it. So ever since then they've been a little cursed. They're still a great team though.
Yeah.
So it's weird because everybody was talking about before the season, is Andy Dalton finally gonna win them a playoff game or whatever? So and then now he's out, in the big game against the Steelers and against the Steelers again.
Right.
So the terrible towel curse.
They lost 33-20 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and AJ McCarron came in. He threw 2 pick sixes. I think, I'm not sure. I know he threw one for sure. I saw it was a really bad pick six.
Yeah.
He might have thrown the other one. Maybe the other interception wasn't a pick six, but I saw the one that was taken back for, I don't know, it was like a 60-yard pick six by the Steelers. So McCarron comes in, and it looks like they're going to get to the playoffs unless they really, lose. At least, if they lose out. But losing Andy Dalton's a big loss. And like you said earlier, Mike, every year it looks like they have a good team, and they're always the team that all the experts say, okay, this is the team that's going to make it this year. They're going to go pretty far in the playoffs, and something always happens. Either they go out in the first round, or an injury like this, where Andy Dalton, and it's not confirmed yet that he's out for this season, but I saw on ESPN they had some doctor there saying that if it's broken, there's no way he's going to be back. It takes about 6 weeks to heal.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they're gonna have to, I guess, ride with AJ McCarron.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
he came out saying, "Oh yeah, this is how Tom Brady got his break." Remember back in the days,
yeah.
When who was the quarterback that got hurt, and then they put Tom Brady in? Drew Bledsoe.
Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah.
There you go.
So he's kind of he's pumped, and then he has the right to, because hey, this is it's his team now, and the Bengals defense could probably take them straight to the playoffs, but we'll see what happens with the Cincinnati Bengals. All right, the big game tonight: the Miami Dolphins host the New York Giants tonight at Sun Life Stadium. That game's at 8:30, an ESPN game, and the Dolphins and the Giants come in with identical records. Mike, 5-7, but it looks like this game is more important to the Giants than it is to the Dolphins.
Yes,
the Dolphins are mathematically out of the playoffs.
Yeah, pretty much. Even if they did win out, they all the Jets need to do is win one game,
right,
to pretty much clinch that wild card spot. So I mean, I don't know. The Dolphins' season's pretty much over.
So you got in the NFC East, you got 3 teams. The Cowboys losing yesterday, they're out of it now. You got the Redskins, the Giants, and who's the Redskins, Giants, and the Eagles.
The Cowboys.
And the Cowboys are out of it because they lost yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's the Eagles, the Redskins, and the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles, the Redskins, and the Giants are the teams that are alive in the NFC East. So big game for the Giants. They need this win really bad, in order to stay alive in
that hunt.
Yeah, in that hunt. And they, obviously the winner of the division gets into the playoffs. So this game means more to the Giants because the Giants still have a chance to win their respective division. Also on Saturday, the Dolphins franchise celebrated the 50th season as a franchise at the Diplomat Hotel. There was a big party out there. And tonight at halftime, Mike, they're going to announce the all-time 50th anniversary team. And I'm curious, who is your all-time great Dolphin in your opinion?
My personal favorite,
yeah,
or
personal
the one who I think is,
your personal favorite.
Well, my personal favorite, because I got to see him play,
right,
is Zach Thomas.
Zach Thomas.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Okay.
I mean, like, I know he's not as good as Dan Marino, but like from when I started watching the Dolphins in 2000, that was the guy for me, because everybody knocked on his size.
More than Jason Taylor? Jason Taylor was a great player too.
No, I like Jason Taylor, but I think like at the time, because I was playing football and I played the linebacker position, and I'm kind of a short guy, so everybody knocked on Zach Thomas, being undersized and whatnot. So I kind of connected more with that because he's a hard hitter and he had the smarts and he made plays, and that's kind of what I did at the time. Again, I was just like a little kid, but that's the guy I looked up to. Yeah,
Zach Thomas coming out of Texas Tech, and it's true what you said. A lot of people counted him out, saying he's too small, and let's see here. Thomas played 12 seasons from 1996 to 2007 and started all 168 games he played in Miami. Wow, the most games played and started by the Dolphins defender. He had 100 or more tackles 11 times and led Miami in tackles 10 times. He was selected to the 7 Pro Bowls, tied for the second highest total by any Dolphin. Zach Thomas was inducted into the Dolphins honor roll in 2012. So Zach Thomas is your favorite. My favorite has to be, and I've been watching Dolphins since the early 80s, and I'm going to go with, obviously Dan Marino's the one that everybody loves, and he's probably the all-time greatest Dolphin in some people's opinions. But I'm gonna go with, I like speed, These guys, I'm gonna go with two guys. I'm gonna go with Clayton and Duper. Clayton and Duper were my favorite. They were so awesome, man, and it was such a treat to see these guys play. And Marino must, every game that he came out and played, he must have been, man, I got two of the best receivers of all times, and I could just throw these guys and they're gonna catch it. And then I think was it Mark or Duper came out saying during the festivities over there at the Diplomat, saying that that Marino never overthrew him because he was so fast that he would catch everything.
Yeah.
So
it's small because I mean, I don't know if he shrunk since then. But
well, you shrink as you get older, Mikey. Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but Mark Duper, he's a pretty short guy.
Yeah, he is.
Like, how tall was he when he was playing?
I'm sure he wasn't no more than 6 feet.
Because even in the highlights, he still didn't look that. I mean, but he was fast.
Oh, he was really fast. Duper played 11 seasons with the Dolphins from 82 to 92. He finished with 511 catches for 8,869 yards and 59 touchdowns. Duper ranks first in career reception yardages, second in receptions, and third in touchdowns in Dolphin history, while his average of 17.4 yards per catch is the second highest in the team history. He was inducted into the Dolphins honor roll in 2003. Now, Mark Clayton played 10 seasons also with Duper with the Dolphins from 83 to 92. He combined with Duper to form the Marks Brothers. That was their nickname. He finished with 550 catches for 8,643 yards and 81 touchdowns, and ranks first in career receptions and touchdowns, and second in receiving yards in Dolphin history. He was inducted into the Dolphins honor roll in 2003. All right, so your favorite Dolphin player is Zach Thomas, and my favorite Dolphin players, plural, is Mark Clayton and Mark Duper, the Marks Brothers. So we'll get a little more into that in our fourth segment of the show. We'll talk about tonight's game. Obviously, we want Dolphins to win, and we'll see what happens. Like we were saying earlier, Mike, we were saying that the Giants defense really sucks.
Yeah.
So the Dolphins should be able to move the ball. They should be able to move the ball on the ground, and then also they should be able to pass the ball. So what's going to offset the
Eli and Odell making plays?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my theory is that when you're facing good quarterback wide receiver combinations, especially when the Dolphins were playing Peyton Manning, I think it was back in 2009.
Right.
They dominated. Oh my God, what? God, my mind's blanking here. But the time of possession.
Okay.
They dominated the time of possession 45 minutes in that game, and they kept Eli and they kept Peyton off the field.
Right.
But the thing is that Peyton, their defense was so garbage because they had Jabril Wilson as a safety.
I remember that.
Whenever Peyton was on the field, he'd throw a touchdown. It would be a quick score the whole time.
Right.
So, I mean, what you want to do is run the ball and make sure Eli stays off the field as long as possible because the Dolphins can't play catch up. Ryan Tannehill's been garbage all season. And I mean, I don't know. I just don't have faith with him to keep up with the points that the Giants could potentially put up.
Well, if you notice, all the Dolphins wins, they start out fast. They put points on the board quick. So let's hope for the Dolphins a quick start against this awful Giants defense. So
the Dolphins defense, well, the Dolphins secondary is
pretty solid. Not really?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Brent Grimes, I kind of like him, but he's not having a great season. And whoever plays across from him, whether it be Jamar Taylor or Bobby McCain,
right? I
mean, they've been torched the last couple weeks.
Torched. I think they were saying in the papers that Jamar Taylor's probably not going to come back next year.
Yeah.
So we'll see about that. All right, week 14 in the NFL. I'm not going to go through all the games, but here are a couple games. To start on Thursday, the Cards and the Vikings. I was so upset with Coach Mike Zimmer did with the Vikings. They I don't know. Did you see that game? It was Thursday night. Vikings and Arizona Cardinals last Thursday.
Yes.
You saw what they did? They were getting greedy at the end there. It was third down. They wanted to run one more play. It would have been a 42-yard field goal or something like that.
Yeah. And
they ran one play and Freeney came from behind. Teddy Bridgewater ended up fumbling the ball, and Arizona got the ball and won the game.
Yeah,
they should have kicked the field goal.
I know,
on third down.
They would have tied the score, and then they wouldn't have lost. It might have went to overtime, and they would have lost there. But I mean, you have one of the better kickers in the league. You should have kicked the field goal.
Good point. Good point. Very good kicker, and they should have kicked the field goal. I think it would have been not automatic, but I think he would have made it. That would have sent the game to overtime. So the Vikings lose to the Cardinals 23-20. The Eagles, and that was what you put in the opening there, Mikey. The Eagles beat the Bills 23-20, and McCoy was furious. He came out. He didn't want to shake anybody's hand after the game, and then the cameras followed him into the clubhouse. And he threw his helmet. And so on and so on.
Screamed the F word there.
Exactly. And then he kissed the emblem, the Eagles emblem before the game started. You see when he came out, he went down, he kissed the Eagles emblem. And then all this stuff about him calling Chip Kelly and Chip Kelly saying that never happened. I'm not sure what happened there, but
it's just it's a really bizarre just issue all around, the whole back and forth between McCoy and Chip Kelly. And the thing is, like, Chip Kelly's just trying to downplay it. Like, I mean, he's not really trying to downplay it because, when you listen to his press conference, he's a pretty honest and straightforward guy.
Right.
But, he just doesn't care either way. And the media's just trying to throw it in his face for him to respond to it. And he's not responding. He's just doing what any normal coach would go. He's like, yeah, I would shake his hand if he wants to shake hands, and that's it. But, Shady is just, God, Shady just comes off as like the spoiled little sore loser of a kid. Like, I don't know, man, just making excuses the whole time, like blaming race on the reason why he's getting cut.
Yeah.
And then I mean, I don't know, man. I don't understand the whole hatred between him and Chip Kelly. I mean, well, the reason why he hates Chip Kelly.
He said he has evidence that Chip Kelly's a racist and so on and so on.
Well, then put it out there. You hate the guy so much. I mean, who's
the receiver that used the N-word and they didn't get rid of him? They kept
Cooper.
Him. Yeah. So he never mentioned his name, but I don't know. Whatever. We're here to watch football. We're not here to.
The whole thing just came down to money. That's all it was.
Yeah.
And they were just like, well, the running back position's fairly easy to replace, so we're gonna go with DeMarco Murray.
And I think they're misusing,
even though they paid a lot of money for him too. So I don't know what
they're misusing him. I think they're misusing DeMarco Murray. He's more of a north-south runner right up the middle, and they're running all these different plays for him, and he's not running well. And DeMarco Murray, he was the best running back in the league last year.
Yeah.
They trade him to the Eagles, and he's one of the worst running backs in the league now.
Yeah. Oh, he's not getting the opportunity, and I don't think the system fits him. But I mean, Chip Kelly's the guy who wanted him to sign him and fit him in the system. I mean, why sign him if you don't think he fits the system? I don't understand what's going on.
A couple of weeks ago, the theme of the show was should Chip Kelly get fired? Now they beat New England. Now they beat Buffalo, 2-game winning streak. Now, what do we,
So now it changes.
Exactly. Yeah. Do we want to fire Chip Kelly now?
No, I mean, I always thought like you give him one more year.
Yeah.
And just if he tanks that one, then for sure you fire him. But I mean, you let the guy have like one kind of mediocre down season. I mean, still in the race.
Yeah.
It's not like they're that bad. It's
still in the race.
It's not like the Dolphins melting down in every single game and things don't make sense.
Yeah, when Chip Kelly came into the NFL, and the owner of the Eagles, Luria, he gave Chip Kelly all, he's the general manager. He gave him all these high positions. He has no boss. He only has one boss, and that's the owner of the Eagles. So the only guy that could fire him is the owner of the Eagles.
Yeah.
And then according to Troy Hall, who's going to be joining us at 3:30, he's heard that Luria and Chip Kelly, they have a great relationship. Luria loves Chip Kelly. So
yeah.
And I agree with you that they should give him at least one more year and see what happens. Again, he's not, he played with, I mean, who did he have last year? He had they send him to the Rams, and he stinks now. Who's the quarterback?
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles.
Yeah.
He's, he had him. Now he has Bradford, and he has and Sanchez, and he still ends up, I'm not saying he's a winner, but he still ends up finding ways to win games.
Yeah, they're still in games. Like, they're not getting blown out or anything.
Well, they did get blown out a couple. Was it not against the Dolphins, but after those 2 games when they lost 3 in a row, they got on Thursday, on Thanksgiving, they got humiliated.
Oh yeah.
Against the Lions. Was it the Lions? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't know. We'll see what happens with Chip. I think he's a good coach.
Yeah,
I think he's giving one more year.
I think he's still a good coach. I mean, most of his games are competitive. I mean, they could go either way, but I don't know. I think he knows what he's doing and how to make that talent work.
I think so too. Yeah, go ahead.
Even I don't know. Even though the talent's not that great this year.
Right. All right. Eagles, Redskins win. The Cowboys lose. We already talked about that. big game for the Giants. Giants need to win this game. Gronk was back yesterday, Mikey Mike, and the Patriots end up winning 27-6 over the Houston Texans. And after losing two in a row, the Patriots are back. Mike, 27-6, they beat up on the Houston Texans.
I was actually surprised that they let Gronk play in this game because I thought they're just like, oh, we're just gonna let Gronk get healthy after his injury, you know, make sure he's okay, kind of save him for the playoffs or whatever. You know, we could still throw it to Scott Chandler, who, you know, he still comes to play too. So I was surprised that Gronk was majorly involved in that game. As
it looked like it was a serious knee injury, man. When I saw that, I'm like, man, this guy's out for the season, man.
Yeah.
But you know, he's he wanted to play and they let him play. So Gronk is back. The Raiders beat the Broncos 15-12. The Broncos, I think, should have won that game. But now there's talk, Mikey Mike, Peyton. We want Peyton back. Isn't it amazing how people were on Osweiler's jock? They were on his, you know, they loved them. Now they lose one game and they want Peyton back.
Yeah, I mean, it's very disappointing because I thought the Broncos would win this game hands down because, you know, it's a home game,
right?
You know, they have that elite defense. Brock Osweiler's been doing enough to keep winning. I thought the defense would slow the Raiders offense down, which they did. I don't even know how they won that game, to be honest with you.
I didn't see the game, but I read about it, and they said that
I guess the offense didn't score enough points,
right? And the Raiders had like 152 yards in offense, total offense. And they still found a way to win the game. So the Raiders beat the Broncos 15-12. In basketball, the Heat win last night, 197 over the Memphis Grizzlies. Dwayne Wade had a game-winning shot that took them over the hump, and after losing 3 in a row, they're back on the winning track. You know, the classy organization that the Heat are. After the first, after the first whistle, they honored Mario Chalmers. They had some big video. They had a video of all his highlights that when he played here in Miami. He played in Miami for 7 years. He's won 2 championships here. So, you know, as you all know, Mario Chalmers was traded last month to the Memphis Grizzlies, and Mario came out saying in Sunday in the paper, saying that he feels comfortable playing with the Grizzlies. He's got more freedom to play there because they teach in Memphis. It's all about offense. Just go out there and score. While with the Heat, they wanted him to play defense. They wanted him to shoot threes. They wanted him to, do all this kind of stuff. And he's happy. So, classy organization that the Heat are, and I applaud them for doing something like that for Mario Chalmers. Chris Bosh came out saying that they miss Mario Chalmers because he used to open up the court. He shot threes. He played good defense. He also caused a lot of turnovers. So I don't know. Chalmers being traded, I don't know if that worked out for the Heat. They end up getting Udry, who's not playing very well. He's turning the ball over a lot, but he's not playing a lot. So, and they have another player that's in the D League. So the Heat are back on. They're back on track tonight against the Atlanta Hawks at 8:00. They're in Atlanta. So the Heat and the Dolphins at the same time tonight. So I know you're gonna be watching the Dolphins. I'll be switching back and forth. Unless the Dolphins are getting blown out right away, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be a close game, the Giants and the Dolphins. Let's see. The Golden State Warriors finally lose to the Milwaukee Bucks, ending their 24-game winning streak. They lost 108-95. They went 6 for 26 from the three-point line. And the day before, or the night before, they went into overtime, double overtime against the Boston Celtics. And they came on the back-to-back the next day, and they lost against them. They were tired, 6 for 26 on the road for about a week. So Golden State Warriors are humbled, and now the pressure's off. They were saying that they could go on and start playing relaxed basketball. The Marlins were close to trading Jose Fernandez to Arizona. There were reports out there saying that the Marlins were going to get 6 players for Jose Fernandez, and Jose is not saying anything. I know Scott Boras is his agent. He's telling Jose not to say anything, to keep his mouth shut, not to comment on things like that. Just go out and play baseball. So the Marlins were very close to trading Jose Fernandez to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Congratulations to Central High School, Class 6A, and Booker T. Washington, Class 4A, for winning their 4th consecutive state championship in football, Mikey Mike. 4 consecutive.
Wow, that's impressive.
Central High School and Booker T. Washington, and also Flanagan. Where's Flanagan High School? I have no idea. Is that in Broward?
No idea.
No idea. Okay. I think it's in Broward. Also, Flanagan won their Class 6A in the state championship in football, and St. Thomas Aquinas won their second in a row in football also. So St. Thomas has Michael Irvin's son. They always got great players. Boza,
they got big players.
Yeah, they got big players. Boza, the guy from Ohio State, his brother plays at St. Thomas, and Boza, the guy who's playing at Ohio State, he came from St. Thomas. And like you said, Mikey, they got some big players, man.
I mean, like, I don't understand how they just let them keep accumulating huge players after, just recruiting huge players. Like, I don't understand. They got to change that system. You can't just let one high school just go out and find the biggest kids all the time and just say, hey, come to our school.
I wonder how many of those guys have fake addresses. Because I remember when I came from Chicago, I was in the district. I was in the district of going to Jackson High School, but the people were saying that it was a bad school, blah blah blah. So then my parents end up getting a fake address that was in the district of Miami Senior High.
Yeah,
and that's where I end up going.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was able to go to my high school with a fake address.
Everybody does it.
I live a little further down south and west.
Well,
and my parents didn't want me to go to a particular school.
What school? Come on, say it.
Southridge.
Southridge?
Yeah.
What's wrong with Southridge? I thought it was a good school.
I don't know. They just didn't want me going there.
Oh, really? So you end up going to Braddock?
I went to Varela.
Oh, you went to Varela.
Yeah.
I thought you went to Braddock.
It's closer to my house anyway. Well, I mean, it's not too far.
That's when you were a superstar linebacker?
No. I was like a fourth string defensive end.
All right, if you're looking for a great place to get a drink, I got a great place for you guys. It's called Jada Cole's Bar. It's on 2845 Coral Way. They have happy hour every day from 4 to 8. On Mondays, they got poker night. And also they got this thing called In the Biz Night. Anybody that's in the hospitality business, come in, show your business card. You get 50% off your bar tab. Isn't that awesome? You could be a nurse, a teacher, anybody in the hospitality business. Come show your card, 50% off your bar tab.
That's pretty awesome.
That's on Monday.
I mean, it's a reward for helping people.
Exactly. So on Tuesday, they got live music. On Wednesday, open mic by Somatics. Thursday, again, they got live music. If you're a musician, you have a band, call them up, and you guys could go and talk to Scotty. You could talk to Terry, and they could put you on their stage. You could play there on either Tuesday or Thursday. On Friday, they got a live DJ. His name is DJ Del Swagga, and he plays the hottest tunes every Friday here at Jada Cole's Bar. On Saturday, which this Saturday is Mikey Mike's favorite night because it's karaoke night. You heard him a while ago. He was singing "Santa Claus is Coming to Town" with his Bruce Springsteen voice.
You better watch out.
Go.
You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Oh, I love that song. And on Sunday is probably the best night. You know why? Because it's ladies' night. Ladies' night. All night, ladies drink $5. Anything you want. They want a Patron shot. They want a glass of wine. They want a beer. They want, what else? What do ladies drink?
Cosmos,
or what's that white drink they always drink? The white wine.
White wine.
Pinot Grigio.
Oh, Pinot Grigio and Chardonnay.
All that stuff. $5 for all ladies at Jada Cole's Sunday. And also they got this thing called Trivia Night with Lacey Brooks. And if you win the trivia, you get $30 off your bar tab. All right, so say hi to Terry, Scotty, Gus, Lacey, Shelby, and also Brittany. Those are your bartenders out there at Jada Cole's Bar. 2845 Coral Way. Every day they have a happy hour for 48, and you can catch them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search Jada Cole's Bar. When we come back, we're coming back with Troy Hall. We're going to be talking college football. We're going to go over some bowl games. So keep it locked right here on 247miami.tv. Mikey Mike is on the controls, and I am John Ech. So keep it locked right here, 247miami.tv.
Hey, I'm John Carlos Stan, and you're on 24/7 Miami.
Season of Metal and Mayhem this fall right here on 247miami.tv. Follow me on Twitter at @RealCraigCook to submit your requests and have all your feedback made fun of live on the air. Metal and Mayhem, Fridays this fall, 247miami.tv.
You know why we pulled you over.
Was it because I was speeding?
No, it's because you weren't listening to the...
Tune in Thursdays at 8 p.m. on 24/7 Miami.
This is Wilma Shakespeare,
Anger
and Disaster Chief from Miami's Vice City Rollers, inviting you to tune in to Ring Crash Radio on 247miami.tv. New shows every Saturday at 9 p.m.
with encore replays Monday at noon and 10 p.m., Tuesdays at 10 a.m.,
and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and again at 10 p.m. Find out everything you've ever wanted to know about roller derby in the 305,
get the 411 on the women's team,
the men's team,
and even the juniors.
Ring Crash Radio. Ring Crash Radio. Ring Crash Radio. On 247miami.tv.
Calor y sabor. Todos los jueves a las 6 de la tarde, con tu amiga Diana Carolina, te traigo Sabor de Miami, un show de entretenimiento, desde noticias hasta un Throwback Thursday. No te lo pierdas, 1 hora de calor y sabor, aquí en 24/7 Miami.
Hi guys, I'm James.
I'm Adrian.
We've got some very exciting news about our upcoming show,
Cannon Fire.
What are we going to talk about, Adrian?
We're going to talk about everything science fiction.
So, movies?
Yes.
Video games?
Yes.
TV shows?
Checkmate on that.
Awesome. We're also going to be seen around our local comic book events. So you're going to see us at a lot of cons, hopefully at some of the comic book shops around town.
Hopefully they be giving free stuff and we'll let you know about it.
That'd be awesome. And we've also got some interviews lined up for you guys. So please remember to check us out on 247miami.tv.
And like us on Facebook.
It's time. Oh yeah, it's that time of year. It's football season. You know what else that means? It's fantasy football season. Tune in every Tuesday at 9 p.m. for Fantasy Frauds, with replays starting at 5 on Wednesdays and Thursdays. You can only hear it here on 247miami.tv.
All right, we're back. John Ech Show right here on 247miami.tv. Troy Hall at Sports Heads Picks. That's with an X. He joins us every Monday here on the John Ech Show at 3:30 talking college football. Troy, how you doing?
Good.
All right, let's start with the Army-Navy game, Troy. Navy, 14 consecutive wins over Army, 21-17. Your thoughts on the game? Navy was favored by 22, and then it went down to 21.
Yeah, I think 22 points they're favored by. I thought it was going to be a blowout, but I shouldn't have probably thought that. It's the ultimate rivalry game, and Army came out pretty fast and took the lead, and they hung right in there the whole game. It was a one-possession game, the whole way through. Navy obviously just had some better players, and particularly the quarterback, Keenan Reynolds, is really good. So they won, but definitely nowhere near covering in that one.
Yeah, it was a good game. And I also loved the, at the end of the game when they sang their songs and all that stuff. It's pretty touching, man.
Yeah, that's a game I'd like to go to at some point.
Yeah, me too.
In my life, I have no idea when that would happen. It was played in Philadelphia, but I'd love to go to that game.
Is it always played there, Troy, in Philadelphia?
Lately it has been, but in the past, no. I've seen it played in Annapolis, Maryland.
Okay.
I've seen it. It's been several different places. So.
All right, the Navy coach visiting BYU today, Troy. A lot of I wouldn't say criticism, but a lot of things going around where they're saying this coach is a running coach. They run the triple option, and BYU is considered, or historically they're considered a passing school. If this coach takes the job at BYU, how do you think he'll work out there at BYU?
The Keenan Reynolds threw the ball a little bit too. Obviously, completely different, contrasting styles of offense. But if he does take the job, I think he could do a good job. I just don't think, BYU is not a Power 5 school. They're not in any conference right now. There's no way for them to affect the playoff. They could run the table and go unbeaten, and I still don't think it would be enough for them the way their schedules are right now to even get in that top 4. I think that he could go to BYU and do a good job. It's different, and when new coaches come aboard, things change. That's just the way it is, and that'll be up to BYU if they choose to hire him. And if he takes the job, they're fully aware of what's going to happen if he does take over, and the changes will have to be made.
Troy, you're originally from Syracuse, but you live here in South Florida now. What's going on with the hire of Dino Babers? You were telling me during the weekend that Babers making some moves, recruiting and all that.
Yeah, he's brought, I think, 7 of his coaches from Bowling Green. I don't think they're going to formally announce everything until after Bowling Green's played in their bowl game, and they're all on board up there. Then I would expect he would probably introduce them all. But he's still working on bringing some other guys aboard. I know he took the running backs coach from University of Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Because their coach, London, was fired. So he became available, and he's a great recruiter down in the Virginia area and the Florida area. And I know they got he brought with him one of his linebackers that he had committed to Virginia, and there's been a couple other guys that have decommitted after talking with the coaches. So a lot of changes going on up there because Syracuse obviously was more of a power team, and it just wasn't working out. So clearly up there they're ready for a change, and the recruiting, the kind of athlete they're recruiting is changing as well. But I'm interested to see how he fills out the staff and then what happens with recruiting later on for the rest of the year.
Yeah, hopefully we get Syracuse back on the map when it comes to football. But Syracuse basketball took a hit on was it Sunday? Yeah, it was yesterday at 12 o'clock. They lost to the St. John Red Storm there. Troy, what happened there, man?
That's a pretty good rivalry. Syracuse, I don't think this is one of their better teams. I think they'll be in the NIT this year at best. I don't think they'll win 20 games. Historically, whenever they've lost 3 non-conference games, they've been an NIT team. They haven't made the NCAAs. They have a real young team. They just live and die by the 3. One game they'll shoot 50% and they win. Next game, like against St. John's, they shot 19% from 3-point range. Really only one player had a good game. He's a transfer from Duke. Benajay is his name. Trevor Clooney's been a disappointment. He's a senior. He hasn't panned out. He's supposed to be a great shooter. He's just very streaky and offers nothing on the defensive end. The rest of the team's weak. Yeah. So they have a bunch of top recruits on the table to come in next year. I know a couple of 4- and 5-star guys are signed up and ready to roll. So, but I'm not expecting much from Syracuse this year. And that was a great win for St. John's because they're extremely young. I think they brought in 7 freshmen.
Wow.
And they've been, they got off to a good start against really poor competition. And then as soon as they played a couple teams, they got beat pretty good. So I was surprised. They won by double digits.
Yeah. So congratulations to Chris Mullen out there in New York City. All right. Getting back to football, Troy. Saturday night, the Heisman. The candidates were McCaffrey, Watson, and Derrick Henry. We all know Derrick Henry won the Heisman. He broke SEC record with 1986 yards. He broke Herschel Walker's record, and he also had 23 touchdowns this season. Your thoughts on Derrick Henry winning the Heisman?
Well, that's what I would have voted for. I figured he'd get it. He had a great season. Alabama's offense has been riding him the whole way. He's run against some really good defenses, and he's rolled up 200 yards plus against them. So I liked all 3 candidates. McCaffrey was really good at Stanford. It bothered me a little bit that I heard that voters had already turned in a lot of voters had, not a lot, but some of the voters had already turned in their ballot before McCaffrey even played his final game.
Right.
And to me, that's ridiculous. He had a really good game, but I mean, who's to say that kid wouldn't have put up 600-something yards with 6 touchdowns? I mean, it could have easily happened. He's that kind of player. He put up, I think, 400 or something in the game as it was. So I think the right guy won.
Yep, McCaffrey and Watson, they're sophomores, so they got time. They got 2 more years to see. I think McCaffrey wins it next year if he keeps it going like the way he played this year.
Yeah, he's obviously going to be one of the favorites, but there's so many guys coming back. Dalvin Cook will be back, and Deshaun Watson will be back, and then you've got, a number of other young players that are going to be in more prominent roles. So we'll see what happens. It's such a long season, and staying healthy and winning games really is what's more important in keeping you in it. If you look at those teams, Stanford, it probably hurt McCaffrey's chances that they didn't make the playoff. They lost that loss in the beginning of the season to Northwestern absolutely killed them.
Right.
If that wasn't there, you may be talking about them in the playoff. And obviously, Derrick Henry and Deshaun Watson will both be playing in that playoff. So winning games and staying healthy is just as important as being really spectacular.
All right, let's get to the bowl games. We got lines. We got dates of when these.
Yep, we got everything.
We got everything. All right, let's start with. I guess we'll start with the Miami versus Washington State in the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. That's December 26th. I don't even have the line here. Jeez, I dropped the ball. What's the line? Do you know that line?
It was 3.5
Okay.
when it first came out.
Okay. What's your
Washington State was the favorite.
Mm-hmm. What's your opinion on that game?
My opinions, it could go either way. I mean, Washington State's one of those teams that just throws it all over the place. I think there might be a couple players from Miami looking to have big games and try and get a little bit more visible headed into this NFL off season, trying to get to the combine. Either team obviously could win the game. It's the last go around for probably a lot of the coaches on the Miami staff, and been a very up and down season for the Hurricanes. And Washington State's just getting going under Mike Leach.
Right.
They opened the season and lost to Portland, and that's I don't even that's an FCS team, I think. So they've come a long way. They've had some really good wins. I think they beat Oregon.
Yeah, they did.
They have some good wins on the resume. So if they're swinging it around, Miami's defense hasn't really been very good against, very good offenses this year. We saw them against North Carolina and against Clemson, and they were just putrid. So Miami's got their hands full here. If I was a betting man, I would probably take Washington State.
Okay. All right, let's talk about your alma mater, West Virginia, in the Cactus Bowl, and that is played in Phoenix. What's the line in that game, Troy? That's January 1st. West Virginia versus Arizona State.
Oh, I should have looked at it. It might be like 3 points. I'm not sure. I don't have the lines in front of me right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at the ESPN. They don't have. I got the lines on. I wrote the bowl games that I wanted to talk to you about. I forgot to put West Virginia game and the Miami game. But we're not going to get. We have no time to go through all the bowl games. But we'll go through the certain games, and then next week we'll talk about the big ones. All right. Let's see here. December 19th, BYU versus Utah, Las Vegas Bowl. Utah is favored by 2.5.
Yeah, well, that West Virginia game, it was a pick'em.
Oh, it's a pick. Okay.
I just looked it up. It was a pick'em. So that West Virginia game, I like Arizona State to win.
Arizona's okay.
I don't trust West Virginia's quarterback. I know Dana Holgerson's been retained for the following season, but Arizona State's got a better quarterback. Todd Graham's their coach. He's a solid coach. They have good players, and they were a team that was supposed to be good in the beginning of the year, and didn't really live up to expectations. There were a few people who thought they'd be in this 14 playoff, and they were nowhere close. So they've got talent, and I think Arizona State's going to win and cover.
December 19th, BYU versus Utah, Las Vegas Bowl. Utah's favored by 2.5.
I like Utah to win. BYU is obviously going through some coaching changes, and Utah plays a very smart brand of football. They have a lot of older guys on the team. They're a solid team. I'm not sure if Booker, the running back's out for the season or not, but I like them to win. They have the best punter in the country. They always win the field position battle. They don't turn the ball over that much. And BYU's just been really inconsistent. I love Utah in that one. That's going to be one of my favorite bowl picks.
Wow. All right. I'm going to circle that. Utah laying at 2.5. December 22nd, we got Temple versus Toledo, the Boca Raton Bowl. Temple's favored by 1.5.
That's another game with a team going through coaching changes. Matt Campbell left and went to Iowa State for Toledo. Toledo has a very veteran, a lot of seniors on their team. They like to pound the ball, and so does Temple. Temple has retained their coach. Matt Rule just signed an extension, I think a 6-year deal. So they locked him up. Temple is an impressive team. I think all the money is going to be on Temple. I've got to look at that one a little bit more, but I'm leaning Temple on that because, the coaching change, a little bit of instability in Toledo. Maybe they lose their focus a little bit. And both of those conferences didn't turn out to be bad conferences. They're normally thought of as pretty bad, but both of them ended up, the top 3 teams in each conference were pretty good.
All right, December 28th, the Military Bowl. We got Pitt versus Navy. Navy favored by 4. We just saw Navy on Saturday.
I like Pitt to win outright. Again, might be some coaching stuff going on there. Keenan Reynolds is obviously the reason that Navy is favored in this game. Pittsburgh's got some players that are going to be going into the NFL draft. There's Tyler Boyd at wide receiver, is a good player. Obviously they lost a running back early, James Conner. I think he's fighting cancer now, and what an unbelievable story that's going to be if he can get through it. But Pittsburgh's physical, both sides of the ball. So is Navy. Navy's been a good team, but I like what Pat Nardizzi's brought for Pitt's team. And I hate Pittsburgh, but I think they're going to win and cover. I think they'll win the game outright. December
29th, North Carolina Tar Heels versus Baylor in the Russell Athletic Bowl. Baylor favored by 3.
Now that to me is absolutely crazy because you've got a North Carolina team that was one bad call away from being able to come down the field and tie the game against Clemson. They're red hot with a senior quarterback, a new coach that's got things going in the right direction. He brought Gene Chizik on to turn the defense around. And he's a name I thought was going to be floated out there for some coaching jobs, and it didn't happen. So he's sticking around. Everything's looking up for North Carolina. And Baylor, we don't even know. Is he going to have a running back or a wide receiver playing quarterback or some kid from the intramurals? I don't know. They're on their fifth quarterback, I think, and it's just going to depend on who gets healthy.
Yeah.
Enough to play in this bowl game. They get a lot of time to rest. But to me, I'd have to take North Carolina. If there's somebody who can come up with a game plan around a quarterback that hasn't played a game before, it would be Art Briles. But North Carolina is a legit team with some good depth and some seniors.
December 29th, LSU versus Texas Tech in the Texas Bowl. LSU favored by 7.
That game is going to be really fun to watch. Texas Tech's one of my favorite teams to watch, just because they force you to play a game where there's a ton of points scored. They take chances on defense. They try to get turnovers because they know they can't really stop too many people. So basically they force you to score quick. They're either going to get you to turnover or you're going to score quick. And then their offense is back on the field. Your defense doesn't get as much rest. Next thing you know, you're in a shootout and it's 60-55. They force everybody into that, and it's going to be interesting because LSU likes to run the ball. And I think they're going to run the ball right down their throats in this one. I think they're going to win and cover the 7. But there's going to be some points scored for sure.
Hey, Troy, is Fournette a senior or is he a junior?
No, he's not even a junior. Remember all that controversy because they wanted to change the rule on being able to go to the NFL early. He's only a sophomore.
Wow.
He's only a sophomore. He comes back next year.
Wow, he's another guy we could throw in the Heisman race there too, huh?
Oh, for sure. There's like a dozen guys that are going to be really, really good next year.
All right, December 30th, the Holiday Bowl. USC Trojans versus Wisconsin. USC's favored by 3.
Right, this one, obviously, USC went through some coaching changes. They let me down the last week of the season. I thought they were going to beat Stanford, but they didn't. Stanford had more to play for, I guess. But USC's retained their interim coach, and Wisconsin. This isn't one of their stronger teams. They have trouble scoring the ball. Their defense is pretty good, but they're kind of boring. I'm not sure they're going to be able to keep up with USC scoring points because they're going to have to score points to beat USC. Wisconsin's defense isn't good enough to shut USC down.
Right.
I think USC is going to win this game.
All right, USC. December 31st, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. We got Houston versus FSU, Florida State University. FSU favored by 7.
It's going to be an awesome game to watch. It's one of those things a lot of people don't think any of these non-Power 5 schools deserve to have a shot even at these 14 playoffs, and I definitely disagree. I think there should be room for one of them if they run the table and they look really good beating some Power 5s on the schedule. Houston's a very good team. The quarterback, Ward, is very good, dual threat guy. He's not the fastest guy, but he's very mobile. He doesn't have the strongest arm, but it's good. And he's smart, and he understands the offense. And Tom Herman's really got them playing well. They have a ton of motivation. They would love to knock off a team that's, of the caliber of Florida State with their name and their fanfare and all the notoriety they'd get for it.
Right.
And Houston's defensive strength is stopping the run. They're very good against the run.
Okay.
Florida State likes to run the ball.
Right.
So this one could be close. I may think about laying a little bit on Houston in this game.
All right. These are not official yet, right? You'll be tweeting them out, the official the official plays. But these are just, what your feels or whatever you want to call it. All right. One more and then we'll let you go, Troy. This January 1st in the Outback Bowl, Northwestern versus Tennessee. Tennessee's favored by 7.5.
Northwestern and Tennessee, you said?
Yes, sir. Northwestern, Tennessee, Outback Bowl, Tennessee favored by 7.5.
That's great. Both teams have pretty good defenses. Both teams like to run the ball. I think Tennessee is going to blow out Northwestern in this game. Northwestern has a good defense, but I don't think they're going to be able to stop Tennessee. I think Tennessee's an up-and-coming team with tons of sophomores and juniors that next year are going to be juniors and seniors. I actually think Tennessee is going to win the SEC next year. I really like them. They're on the way up. There's no coaches are coming and going. The players are all staying. They look relatively healthy now. I think they got everything rolling in the right direction. I think Northwestern could hang in there defensively. I just don't see them being able to score points.
Yeah.
And I think Tennessee's going to lay one on them pretty heavy and get some momentum going into this offseason.
Okay, next week we'll do Notre Dame versus Ohio State, Michigan versus Florida, Stanford versus Iowa, Oklahoma State versus Ole Miss, Oregon versus TCU. Then the big ones, the Orange Bowl and the Cotton Bowl, Oklahoma versus Clemson, Michigan State versus Alabama. All right, you can catch Troy Hall on Twitter, Sportsheads Picks with an X. Troy, excellent job, and we'll catch you next week. And I guess next Monday's the 21st. So there'll be a couple games like the December 19th. We got BYU Utah. If you have some strong opinions on these games before Monday, make sure you tweet them out, and then we'll discuss them next week on the show.
Will do. Thanks a lot.
All right, my man. Have a good day. Take care. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, you too.
Okay. All right. That was Troy Hall right here on 247miami.tv. You don't like college football, Mike?
I just don't know enough about it to.
You gotta get into it, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's football, babe.
I know.
You gotta become a Hurricane fan or something.
I need to know. The thing is, I don't know anything about college football, so I need.
What do you mean you don't know anything?
I don't know. I just need to follow. I need to watch the top teams. That's what I need to do. I need to start with that and then work my way down.
No, you need to watch. I think you should start with the Hurricanes, your local team.
Yeah.
Then start with the Florida teams.
But the Gators. But the season's over for them, right?
Yeah, it's over. But I'm saying next season.
Yeah.
Or start with the bowl game.
Yeah, I'll start with the bowl game.
And then start from there, and it's football, man. Mm-hmm. There's rules that are not the same as they are in the NFL. It's hard to know the players because there's so many, so many teams, and there's a lot of players that are not really good. Only the certain.
Yeah.
You can follow the real good ones. You know what I'm saying?
It was a couple years ago. I tried to get into it, and then, every now and then I'll get the feeling to get back into it again.
Right.
And then every time I turn on the TV to watch a game, it's just a butt whooping, and then I'm just like, I can't watch this.
Yeah.
It's not even like a game. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's because it's tough. Like if it's two teams that you rarely know about them, it's tough to just stay there and watch the whole game. But you'll like it if you start with the Canes, and I think you'll start enjoying college. You gotta join college football, man. You can be on the John Ech Show.
Yeah,
you gotta give some opinions.
Yeah, I know. Just we gotta hang out more. You gotta tutor me.
All right, I'll tutor you. We gotta go to Flanagan's.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, 2 games tonight. We got the Giants. New York Giants are in town against our Miami Dolphins at Sun Life Stadium. That's an 8:30 start. And then we also got in the NBA, we got the Heat in Atlanta. Let's try to make it two in a row for the Heat. And we're going to talk to the mayor. Some dilemma going down here. There's some dilemma going down here in Miami, and we'll talk to him when we come back from break. So you're listening to the John Ech Show right here on 24/7 Miami.tv. Mikey Mike is on the controls as always. He's getting so good now. So good. You guys heard the intro of the show, right? Clips and so on and so on. All right, keep it locked right here, 24/7 Miami.
What it do? It's your boy Big Snoop Dogg on 24/7 Miami. You know how we do it, baby. Shake, shake, shake.
On 24/7miami.tv.
I'm Craig Cook, host of Metal and Mayhem. I'm bringing you a brand new season of Metal and Mayhem this fall right here on 247miami.tv. Follow me on Twitter at Real Craig Cook to submit your requests and have all your feedback made fun of live on the air. Metal and Mayhem, Fridays this fall, 247miami.tv.
You know why we pulled you over?
Was it because I was speeding?
No, it's because you weren't listening to the
Story time! Tune in Thursdays at 8 p.m. on 24/7 Miami.
This is Wilma Shakespeare, Anger,
and Disaster Chief
from Miami's Vice City Rollers, inviting you to tune in to Ring Crash Radio on 247miami.tv. New shows every Saturday at 9 p.m.
with encore replays Monday at noon and 10 p.m., Tuesdays at 10 a.m.,
and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and again at 10 p.m.
Find out everything you've ever wanted to know about roller derby in the 305.
Get the 411 on the women's team,
the men's team,
and even the juniors.
Ring Crash Radio.
Ring Crash Radio.
Ring Crash Radio.
On 247miami.tv.
Calor y sabor. Todos los jueves a las 6 de la tarde, con tu amiga Diana Carolina, te traigo Sabor de Miami, un show de entretenimiento, desde noticias hasta un Throwback Thursday. No te lo pierdas, 1 hora de calor y sabor, aquí en 24/7 Miami.
Hi guys, I'm James.
I'm Adrian.
We've got some very exciting news about our upcoming show,
Cannon Fire.
What are we going to be talking about, Adrian?
We're going to talk about everything science fiction.
So, movies?
Yes.
Video games?
Yes.
TV shows?
Checkmate on that.
Awesome. We're also going to be seen around our local comic book events. So you're going to see us at a lot of cons, hopefully at some of the comic book shops around town.
Hopefully they be giving free stuff and we'll let you know about it.
That'd be awesome. And we've also got some interviews lined up for you guys. So please remember to check us out on 247miami.tv.
And like us on Facebook.
It's time.
Oh yeah, it's that time of year. It's football season. You know what else that means? It's fantasy football season. Tune in every Tuesday at 9 p.m. for Fantasy Frauds, with replays starting at 5 on Wednesdays and Thursdays. You can only hear it here on 247miami.tv.
All right, welcome back to the show, 247miami.tv, the John Ech Show. 2 games tonight. We got the Giants right here at Sun Life Stadium against our Miami Dolphins. That's an 8:30 start. And also, we got the Heat trying to make it 2 in a row versus the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta. That game starts at 8. All right, we got the mayor in the building. The mayor is in the building every Monday. We have him here on the John Ech Show at 4 o'clock. You can catch him on Mixer.com every Tuesday from 8 to 10, and also on Facebook and Twitter. On Facebook, After Further Review, and on Twitter, Left-Handed. Is that correct, sir?
It sure is. What's going on, man? Peace.
How's the weather up there in New York? Is it getting cold, or is it? I heard it was in the 70s up there.
It don't know what it want to do, man. One day you got the puffy bomber on. The next day you got the windbreaker on. It's crazy, man.
Down here, it feels like
me. I pay attention to the calendar, man. It can be 75 degrees in December, man. I still got something long on my arms, man. I don't trust it.
Yeah, man. Down here, we haven't had one spell of any type of cold weather yet. It's been in the 90s down here.
Congratulations. I got to get down there and experience some of that, man.
You got to come down here, man. You got to rock it with us down here. I'll show you around. I'll take you to the hottest spots.
No doubt. That's what it is.
All right. Our sub theme of this show is are the Cincinnati Bengals cursed? Another season down the tube, it looks like, with Andy Dalton getting hurt. Mayor, what's your thoughts and opinions on the Bengals, man? What's going on?
Woo! You know what? It's hard to not feel some kind of way for Cincinnati because people were really looking forward to seeing what they were going to do. You know what I mean? But this has become a pattern now. It's always something. I don't want to throw the C word in there. You know what I mean? But it's just that you always, John, you know what it is, man. You always got one of those squads, 1 or 2 squads, man, that always try to, lead you to the water, but they don't allow you to drink if you're a follower of that squad. And I think the Cincinnati Bengals fans are going through that. They're good, no doubt, but when are they ever going to get to prove that they're really good?
Mm-hmm.
And then you know what? Looking back at it, you might look at the C word because when they had Carson Palmer, they was rocking. Carson Palmer messed up his knee against Pittsburgh in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And they wasn't right ever since. Yeah. So, I mean, you might even consider that, man. And again, man, it's hard not to feel sorry for them, but I really don't. I really don't. You know what I mean? Because A.J. McCarron should step in and do what they need to do. And Cincinnati Bengals fans, keep the faith, man.
Yeah.
It's still 10-3. Anything can happen. As I'm hearing that the thumb is not broken, so he's not going to need surgery.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay,
yeah. So that's what I'm hearing. He's not going to need surgery. So
he could be back.
Hopefully, go ahead.
He could be back then. He could be back for the playoffs.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll be back, my dude.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But so now I'm looking at a situation where he's going to be out a couple of weeks, man. And so be it, man. Until he gets right. Cincinnati, they're just going to be missing their quarterback. A.J. McCarron can do what he needs to do for a couple of weeks, hold the fort down. They're 10-3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
The only thing that can happen is they just nosedive and they fall completely out the playoffs. Then it's a problem.
Oh man, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like Cincinnati. I'm not going to say they're cursed or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
They just got hit with some bad luck, man. And you know what? Going around the league real quick, I'll tell you something that didn't really surprise me, and I'm surprised that people are shocked. I'm surprised that people are shocked that the Jaguars put the beats on Indianapolis like they did yesterday.
52 points. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that because I think that the way Indianapolis season is going, John, is that the Jaguars probably would have put the beats on Indianapolis if they had Andrew Luck.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like the Jaguars are one of those teams, man, that are going to be on the come up.
Yeah.
You're going to see teams that are going to take a little slide backwards, you know what I mean? And then you're going to see teams that's going to come up. I think the Jaguars are building something, you know what I mean? And yesterday wasn't indicative of that because they just ran all over. They just got blasted. Blake Bortles and them did a number on it. They really, really did. I think the Colts have won like 16 straight AFC South games on the road or whatever.
Right.
And they put the beats on them.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Jacksonville score 50 points since they put the beats on Dan Marino in there.
Why do you gotta bring that up, man? Come on, man.
My bad. I'm sorry.
I think they put up 72, right? Was it 70? What they put up?
It was like 65 or something.
Was it 65 points?
67.
I thought it was close to 70.
It was something.
Yeah.
It was.
Hey, but that Jacksonville Jaguar team was great, man. It was great.
Yeah.
Yep. Tom Coughlin. Yep. That was a great team.
Okay. There you go. But you know what? Back to the situation though. I'm really not too impressed, man, about too much that's going on, man. I'll tell you something, man. I wasn't impressed by Seattle. They're on the come up right now. I still talk about them in their Super Bowl hangover thing. I still believe that's in effect. Right now, they're just feeling themselves right now. They're getting hot. Anybody wants to play Seattle in a wild card round? I don't think so. Russell Wilson, 5 touchdowns. Baltimore's garbage.
Yeah.
So I'm not really giving Seattle no shine for that. All right. Everybody wants to give Carolina shine. Atlanta is a team that's a bunch of scrubs right now.
Right.
Okay. I never gave no respect to Matt Ryan. As much as people try to put him up on a pedestal, he's just a numbers compiler. Okay. They try to give excuses about he had injuries around him and this, that, and the third. The Falcons just stink.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of impressed by what the Chiefs did against the Chargers, but the Chargers got their minds on Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Right.
Real talk. You know what I mean? Let's talk about it. I'm not mad at my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know what I mean? Because I think that we got 6 wins. Hey, John, nothing can break my stride right now with Tampa Bay. We got 6 wins, baby.
I hear you.
I'm good. I'm good. What they say in the street? I'm Gucci. I'm Gucci right now, baby. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
You can't bring me down about my Buccaneers, man. I'm proud of my squad, man. My man Rockweiler, he tried, but the Raiders, Khalil Mack, we've been watching that dude since he was doing his numbers up at Buffalo, man.
Right.
Khalil Mack is a beast. 5 sacks yesterday.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of like his coming out party. And that, you know what that tells me about the Raiders? Watch out for them, man. Watch out for them. Derek Carr's no joke. He got some components to go with him on the offensive side. But again, let me say this about Brock Osweiler, man.
Yeah.
He lost, so I can't call him Rockweiler, man.
Last week you were calling Rockweiler.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But you know what, John?
Yeah.
You know what, John? Word up. Every so often, I would look at the game with the Raiders and the Broncos, and every pass that Brock Osweiler threw, he was completing in the tightest window.
Ooh.
I was very impressed by that. Very impressed by how he did his thing, man. But as far as, teams that, on the come up, the adage applies. Any given Sunday, anybody could get beat by anybody.
Right. Right. Mayor, in the NFC East, we could count the Cowboys out. They lost yesterday. We got the Eagles, the Giants, and the Redskins. If they said if all 3 of those teams end up with identical records, the Redskins have the tiebreaker. What's your thoughts on that in that division, the NFC East? Who do you like coming out of there?
Can you imagine the Redskins winning the NFC East?
Right.
You know what? I feel like, Washington has been that team that, people used to talk about and laugh at, kind of like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Right.
But they did their thing on their, they moved at their own accord. The beef was about RG3, and it was about what Jay Gruden was and was not doing, and Kirk Cousins, what he was and wasn't doing, and the defense, this and that. Washington creeping on a come up. Nobody's talking about the name change and all of that. Play your game.
Yep.
Do what you do. As far as the Giants are concerned tonight, man, I think it's going to be real crazy out there in Miami, man. You're doing the throwback thing tonight.
Right.
It's going to be crazy. Salute and respect to the Miami Dolphins. This is time for the Giants. It's either swim or sink time. And this is the, they got to do what they got to do, man. I think if the games were 2 minutes shorter, the Giants would be 10-2. Instead, they're 5-7, and they're about to enter the final minutes of their season, man. And I don't know, man. The question with the Giants, to me, and to everybody else that I, talk to, why can't somebody on the Giants make a big play when the game is on the line?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, finish the game, my dude. It's a beautiful thing to score 20 points in the first quarter. That's a beautiful thing. But it's not beautiful when you lose 21-20.
Right. What are you hearing up in NYC about Coughlin? Is he done? If they don't make the playoffs, is he out of there? Is he going to retire, or is he going to get fired, whatever?
I mean, I think the Giants, my own personal opinion is I think that the Giants would be wrong if they fire him. I think that, again, being up here and seeing everything that goes on with the Giants year in and year out, man, this is par for the course, man.
Yeah.
They always, teetering on a playoff brink. Their life is on the line with every game and, come and go. But I think this might be the last season for Tom Coughlin, but he should go out on his terms.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is no, do not fire him in season. That would be really, really not the right thing to do.
Right.
Let finish off, go your separate ways like that. You know what I mean? It might be time for a new voice with the Giants and things of that nature. But I think that with just 4 games to go in the season, and they can still make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But this is the talk with the Giants every season.
Yeah.
Around this time, the Giants are still, their life is on the line for a playoff, man. They need to make one more play. They need to, get over the hump. They're just overachieving in the first 58 minutes of games, and it seems like they have nothing left for the last 2 minutes.
Yeah. It looks like the Eagles got some type of spark beating the Patriots last week, and they end up beating the Buffalo Bills yesterday. Your thoughts on the Eagles and that big fiasco that happened with McCoy after the game, before and after the games? So immature, this guy.
You know what? I think with LaShawn McCoy and the Philadelphia Eagles and the Buffalo Bills and all of that, I just think that that's just, something that they got to work out. I would feel maybe a certain kind of way if, the situation happened to me. So I can't really blame LaShawn McCoy since I really don't know. But, LaShawn McCoy, he does act like he's the first player that ever got traded. You know what I'm saying? I think that his plan was to win the game and then, really, really talk garbage about Chip Kelly and the Eagles. It didn't quite work out that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I think he has to look at his teammates and be like a lot of penalties, a lot of plays, a lot of opportunities you guys couldn't take advantage of. And that's par for the course with the Buffalo Bills team. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Philly got away with one. They're stepping up right now. It's too little too late. You can't tell with the NFC. We call it the NFC sheesh.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Yeah.
Real talk. And we just feel like, the Eagles got a nice win. I think that talk will calm down now. And, we'll see what it is, man. We'll see how everything shakes out, because tonight's game is really important, man, as far as the NFC sheesh is concerned.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a shot, except, like you said, the Cowboys. Everybody's got a shot. The Cowboys are done.
One of my things is, my opinion is, like, whoever the hottest team is at the end of the season is like, for example, Kansas City Chiefs are playing very well.
Right.
I see, like you mentioned Seattle. I think nobody wants to play them in the playoffs. Like, do you believe that? Do you believe the hottest team at the end of the season, you got to be looking out for that team? Like, for example, Carolina's undefeated. They're probably the hottest team in the league now. But then again, anybody could get beat, like you said, any given Sunday. So I don't know. What?
You know what? I mean, I hear what you're saying. The hottest team, but you know what? You have to be consistently consistent. You have to get some kind of luck to go your way.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be, a step ahead of the curve. Like you talked about just now, you said the Kansas City Chiefs are playing hot.
Right.
I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing hot too.
Mm-hmm.
But neither one of those teams are leading the division.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So again, that goes back to this thing of saying any given Sunday, anybody could be anybody. Right now, to me, and this is just my opinion, you can hit me. I'm on Twitter, left-handed. I think right now the team that's in the worst situation as we get closer to the playoffs is Carolina.
Okay.
And you know why I say that, John? Because that first loss, if it comes after the regular season is over, you go 16-0, and you get that first loss, my goodness.
Ooh, yeah.
So, and I feel like that with everything, man. I feel like going undefeated is nice, but don't let the focus become on going undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Because you asked me last week about the game. We talked about the schedule. The last game of the season is Buccaneers and Panthers, right?
Right.
I'm like, well, if the Buccaneers, are they going to play for the undefeated mark, or are they going to play, the rest of everybody because they got home field advantage? What are they going to do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So again, do Carolina go into the playoffs 15-1? Oh wow, this season is over with. They're cold now because they lost. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So they won't necessarily be the hottest team anymore, but still at 15-1. They still will be the prohibited favorite to come out the NFC,
right,
unless they run into Seattle.
Right.
Seattle will be going to Carolina for a playoff game.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. All right, you catch the Mayor on Mixer.com every Tuesday from 8 to 10 on Facebook and Twitter after further review and left-handed. All right, let's switch gears. Mayor, let's go to the NBA. Popovich made some comments He said something like the 3-point shot is not really basketball. Your thoughts and opinions on Popovich's comments on that?
I respect him.
Oh, I'm losing him.
The best dudes. He takes it back. Man, she asked me, and I believe what he said. I have to agree with it. Basketball was surviving without the 3-point shot.
Left-handed, your phone sounds a little crazy. Can you hear me?
I hear you. You hear me now?
I think it's the auxiliary cable. Might want to.
Is it my cable? All right, can you hear me, left-handed? Hello, can you hear me?
We're gonna have to get him to call back.
All right, we'll call you back. All right, let's try calling back left-handed. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I think he was talking about the Popovich comments, and he said that Popovich said the 3-point shot is not really basketball. So there's two views on that.
How could you say what the 3-point shot is not basketball?
Left-handed, you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry, man. Something happened over here. Okay, Popovich comments: 3-point shot is not really basketball. Your thoughts?
Real quick, like I was saying earlier, I think that the 3-point shot is really not basketball because basketball was surviving a long time without the 3-point shot. Okay. It's many other ways to go about doing it. I think they added on to provide an extra incentive and skill set for players who were good shooters, keep constantly moving it back, moving it forward, moving it out. I think it's playing with it. Okay. And I think Greg Popovich has a point.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And real quick, man, I just wanted to talk about the Hall of Fame as they set to reduce the eligibility wait time from 5 years to 4 years.
Whoa.
So 2016 class for the Hall of Fame, we have Shaquille O'Neal, Allen Iverson, and Yao Ming, among others, for 2016. They want to change the process, man.
Wow.
And I think that's a good thing. But it's going to exclude some other players, man, who were waiting to get in. And I think now that they might get squeezed out a little bit. I just wanted to bring that up real quick.
Oh, thanks for letting us know.
Who are some of the players that you want?
That's what we do, man. That's how we do. We share information and all that, man. But
Mikey Mike had a question.
Hey, Mayor, it's producer guy.
Yes,
Mikey
sir.
Mike. Hey, who are a couple names of the players that you feel are not getting in that deserve to be in, that are being overshadowed?
It would before, AI would have been the only player with a strong case for with the potential. Now you got players like Tim Hardaway, Kevin Johnson, you know what I mean, Chris Webber, those cats, and then you got to worry about what college coaches join the ballot.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So keeping the reducing it from 5 years to 4 is a great thing because actually they didn't want the process to spill over into a 6th season. That's why they reduced it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because actually it was spilling over to a 6th season. So I think that's a great thing. I just wanted to bring that up. Ding dong, the ego is gone from the Golden State Warriors. Why did people act like, the Warriors were not supposed to lose?
Yeah.
I get it that, you like the undefeated streak, and then that goes to the whole thing about, they love you and they ride you till the wheels fall off. Now nobody want to have nothing to do with you. You knew they were going to lose. I don't get people sometimes, man. That's just what it is, man. But again, man, the 72-10 thing, I think that was never in the plan for Golden State. Just win.
Yeah.
Do what you need to do, man. Yeah. I think that the process and the goal for them right now, defend their championship.
Yeah.
All that undefeated stuff is out the window. If 70 happens, that's nice. 72 happens, that's great. But if you can win 75 games and not win the NBA title, then what?
Oh man, yeah.
And I'm heavy on that, my dude. I'm finished the job.
Yeah. The night before they went double overtime with the Celtics, and then they played Milwaukee the following night, and they were 6 for 26 from the 3-point line. So I guess fatigue played a little bit into it, but like you said, I don't know why people made a big deal. They were going to lose.
Yeah, man, it was real crazy. I don't understand it, man. You know what? It is just is what it is. I have a question, man. I want to throw out there maybe to your audience for something to ponder and think about. We're all fans, okay? We all support who we support. We support our teams,
right?
Forever, whatever reasons. Example: I love the New York Yankees. I love the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? I love the New York Knicks.
Right.
out of those 3 squads right there, I'm not really sure who I think would win a championship first. So my question to your people, your listeners out there, consider your teams that you love and you really follow with a passion. Out of all of those teams that you like personally,
right?
Which one of those teams do you think is going to win a championship first?
Wow.
Or next?
Probably the Heat.
For us down here, probably the Heat.
Okay.
And then for you in New York, in my opinion, for you in New York, I think I would say you said the Yankees and Knicks and the Bucks. I would say probably the Yankees. My opinion.
You know what? I think that you might be right, but I feel like what I was talking about to my man last night about it.
Right.
I said that, you know what? I think that we're all trying to peak at the same time. And I say we, I include myself as a Yankee fan, a Buccaneer fan, you know what I mean? And, a Knicks fan. I think that all of those teams are going to win championships around the same time.
Wow.
That's what I feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the Yankees, their time is going to come. They're not as good as we think they are.
Right.
I'm just going to say that. We'll get into that when baseball season comes. Okay.
Right.
The Knicks, we're trying to peak. And to all my Knicks fans out there, I'm not seeing the Porzingis memes, or whatever you want to call them. I'm not hearing them talk about Rookie of the Year and the greatest thing ever no more. What did I tell you people? You people don't listen.
11
you people do not listen. Now you mad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All you gotta do is let it ride. Let it play itself out, John. That's all I say. I'm not saying you're wrong for thinking what you think. You believe in the Tooth Fairy and the leprechauns and all. That's you.
Well, the Knicks went out on the West Coast. They had 3 games.
Yep.
They beat Portland, which was a good win. They lost to Sacramento 99-97. They lost to Utah 106-95. 11-14 record on your Knicks, buddy.
Enough said. What else needs to be said? They right where they need to be.
Yeah.
I'll take 11 wins. Last year at this time, we didn't have 11 wins.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm one of those fans, John, and supporters, because fans, I don't want to be, as a fanatic.
Right.
I like to keep a level head about things, man. I don't, get too over caught up or whatever unless it's playoff time. Then that's when the beasts come out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm right now, like I've always been. I said at the beginning, I didn't like his name. I didn't like Porzingis when they drafted him. I'm not going to front.
Right.
Oh, you didn't like him and this and that. I like the deal. And now look at you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying the season's not over yet.
Right.
So that's my point. Let the season progress. Let it marinate. Let it get some time put in before you start talking about Porzingis is great and it's his team and trade Carmelo and this. Knock it off.
Yeah.
I had to get a knock it off in there. You know what I'm saying?
And there was a big game in New York City yesterday at the Garden. St. John's versus Syracuse.
Oh man,
St. John's with the upset. Chris Mullins, St. John's Red Storm. What do you think about that game?
I saw your message, man.
Yeah,
Thank you. I appreciate it. I was in the middle of a peanut butter and jelly Pop-Tart, but I couldn't get around to answering. But because I'm a Syracuse dude. You already know I'm a Syracuse Orange dude.
Right.
I'm kind of like got them on strike until my man Jim Boeheim comes back. But St. John's was a good win for them. They were balanced. The kid Duran Johnson, Amar Aligovic, if I pronounce his name right, and Kasum Yakwe, they all had 15 for St. John's, which had a balanced team. They shot 30 or 61 from the field. When are they going to do that again?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 12 or 24 from three-point range. That's some Chris Mullin lessons right there.
Oh.
Massini had 5 3-pointers on 7, you know what I mean? And St. John's just ran through the Syracuse zone.
Yeah.
We'll have those nights where they just make the zone look crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Chris Mullin, man. He's 2-0 at the Garden. Because we beat St. Francis. You said we. I'm sorry. They beat St. Francis there last week. It's a New York thing. St. John's is right here in the city. St. John's is right in the city in Queens, right there, right out in Queens.
Right.
I don't mess with them, yo.
Mitch Richmond's Chris Mullins' assistant.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I think that it's starting to get back to those names from our, when we was coming up, those names that we grew up with. They're now starting to move on to the coaching thing, and that's a great thing. It's very, very positive to see.
Bobby Hurley, man, I think those guys coaching out there. Bobby Hurley's coaching Arizona, right? Arizona State.
Yeah, Bobby Hurley's doing his thing. A lot of people doing their thing, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So again, shout out to everybody who's coaching and trying to, still have an impact on the game.
All right, one more. We'll let you go. Left-handed. There's a big dilemma going down here in Miami with the Heat. teams are playing small. For example, the Wizards, when they were in town, the tallest guy they had on the court was 6'5". So they were doing that intentionally to get Whiteside out of the game. Now, there's been already 3 games where Whiteside hasn't been playing in the fourth quarter, and Whiteside is kind of pissed. He's going to social media. He posted a picture of a lion inside a cage, and he didn't put anything on it. He just tweeted that picture. So, the way the game is nowadays, the big man is insignificant now. Depending on the situation of the game. Like, what's your thought on that? What's your thought of is that a good strategy to what these players? These teams are doing to the Heat.
I think that whatever strategy you can employ to help you win, you do that.
Right.
I think that you don't want to take the ball to the rim when Whiteside's in the game.
Mm-hmm.
You want to, become a perimeter-oriented team when Whiteside's in the game. I think that he is going to be somebody that has to be in the action. He wants to feel like he's contributing. Things happen. He's still doing his numbers. They play, guys play Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay. He dominated the Hawks the first time he played. He had 23 points, 11 and 12 shooting, and 14 rebounds.
Right.
But like you said, he hasn't had double digits in his last 3 games, but he's still shooting, I think, 11 out of 14.
Yesterday, he didn't have 1 block yesterday.
Yeah, see, I think that's something that stands out when Hassan Whiteside doesn't get 5 or 6 or 4 blocks in a game. That becomes highlighted.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you're used to him being a defensive force. But again, like you said, to combat that, you're going to become a perimeter-oriented team, especially if you've got shooters.
Right.
So you're not, you're alleviating his chances of getting block shots when you're shooting from the perimeter.
Right.
Keep him out away from the basket, and good things will happen. But for him to get upset about it, I think the passion, it shows that he wants to be a contributor. He wants to feel like, he did his thing to help his team win. He wants to see his name in the paper, of course.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I think that he should just continue to play his game, stay within himself.
Right.
Because now, if you start to, sounding off and things of that nature, and you're still winning, what's your purpose? I can see if you were losing, you're winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you got to be better away from home too, man. You guys are 2 and 5 away from home.
Man.
I just averaging 88 points.
Right. This Whiteside, he's a free agent next year, and he's looking for that big contract. So the Heat are hesitant in trying to give him a big contract because, again, the big guy in basketball, especially in the NBA, is not. We don't need a big. They don't need a big guy anymore. Nobody plays with a big guy anymore in the NBA. So he's a little frustrated down here, man.
Yeah, and you talked about Miami, and the money. I think other teams are watching too.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So if he's going to put himself out there as a free agent and decide to shop his talents elsewhere, other teams are going to be watching how he reacts to himself not getting the ball. You understand what I mean?
I hear you.
If
Yeah.
you're going to pout and go on Twitter and complain, why I want you on my team?
Yeah.
Especially if I'm winning. Why are you worrying about that?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Again, of course, maybe the thing about it is he wants to have his numbers to be consistent to what he's been doing because, again, his contract is up. So he's got to keep the numbers consistent.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, again, it's a whole 1,000 type of things that could be going on with that situation right there. But, again, at the end of the day, man, he's going to be what he is. But, again, he's not going to be that important to the game unless you bring the basketball to him so he can block your shot.
Right. All right, Mayor, where can people find you and where can people listen?
Listen, man, you already know. Tuesday nights, 8 to 10, goes down. Mixler.com. After Further Review 2.0 is the name of the show, man. I'm in the building, man. We show the sideline pass sometimes. We do what we do, man. Come through, have a good time, listen to some stuff. We talk about it. We're going to get into some other stuff, man, this week, man. Basketball heavy because it's the time of the year, man. So hot stove talk going on too, man. Where's Johnny Cueto going to end up? We'll get into all of that, man. Holla at your boy, man, tomorrow night. You already know what it is. John, thank you, man. Shout out to the homie back there. I see you.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll be listening. Tomorrow, man.
All right, see you.
That's what it is, man. Take care out there.
We'll catch you next week. Peace.
All right.
The mayor, always with great information. And listen to his show every Tuesday on Mixer.com from 8 to 10. on the internet. All right, when we come back, we'll talk some Dolphins, Giants. Mikey Mike is excited about tonight's game. We'll ask him where he's going to be watching the game. So just keep it locked right here, John Ech Show. You can catch the show on YouTube, also on TuneIn app. We're here every Monday from 3 to 5. So keep it locked right here, 24/7 Miami.tv.
Hey, I'm John Carlos Stan, and you're on 24/7 Miami.
On 247miami.tv.
I'm Craig Cook, host of Metal and Mayhem. I'm bringing you a brand new season of Metal and Mayhem this fall right here on 247miami.tv. Follow me on Twitter at Real Craig Cook to submit your requests and have all your feedback made fun of live on the air. Metal and Mayhem, Fridays this fall, 247miami.tv.
You know why we pulled you over?
Was it because I was speeding?
No, it's because you weren't listening to the
Tune in Thursdays at 8 p.m. on 24/7 Miami.
This is Wilma Shakespeare,
Anger and Disaster Chief
from Miami's Vice City Rollers, inviting you to tune in to Rink Rash Radio on 247miami.tv. New shows every Saturday at 9 p.m.
with encore replays Monday at noon and 10 p.m., Tuesdays at 10 a.m.,
and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and again at 10 p.m.
Find out everything you've ever wanted to know about roller derby in the 305.
Get the 411 on the women's team,
the men's team,
and even the juniors.
Rink Rash Radio.
Rink Rash Radio.
Rink Rash Radio.
On 247miami.tv.
Calor y sabor. Todos los jueves a las 6 de la tarde, con tu amiga Diana Carolina, te traigo Sabor de Miami, un show de entretenimiento, desde noticias hasta un Throwback Thursday. No te lo pierdas, 1 hora de calor y sabor, aquí en 24/7 Miami.
Hi guys, I'm James.
I'm Adrian.
We've got some very exciting news about our upcoming show,
Cannon Fire.
What are we going to talk about, Adrian?
We're going to talk about everything science fiction.
So, movies?
Yes.
Video games?
Yes.
TV shows?
Checkmate on that.
Awesome. We're also going to be seen around our local comic book events. So you're going to see us at a lot of cons, hopefully at some of the comic book shops around town.
Hopefully they be giving free stuff, and we'll let you know about it.
That'd be awesome. And we've also got some interviews lined up for you guys. So please remember to check us out on 247miami.tv.
And like us on Facebook.
It's time.
Oh yeah, it's that time of year. It's football season. You know what else that means? It's fantasy football season. Tune in every Tuesday at 9 p.m. for Fantasy Frauds, with replays starting at 5 on Wednesdays and Thursdays. You can only hear it here on 247miami.tv.
All right, we're back. The Miami Heat in Atlanta. They're 6.5 point underdog. And the Dolphins, do you think the Dolphins are favorite or they're underdog? Mikey Mike.
I have no idea.
Just give me a guess.
I assume the Giants are favored.
No, that's wrong.
Really?
The Dolphins are favored by 1 lousy point.
Wow. Well, I mean, it was going to be close. I mean, if either one of them was more favored than the other.
You know, the Herald came out with, and we'll get to the game tonight. Big game tonight. Malik Rozier, backup quarterback for the University of Miami. You know, he's a 2-sport athlete. He plays baseball, and he's also the backup quarterback here at the University of Miami. And as you all know, Mark Richt is now the new head football coach here at the University of Miami. So, if you follow Mark Richt's career, he was a quarterback here. He backed up Jim Kelly, and he's great with the quarterbacks where he was at in Georgia. So guess what Malik Rozier does? He says he's not going to play baseball anymore. He's going to stick with football. And I think he's making a wise choice because, again, Mark Richt was a quarterback, and he is a sort of a quarterback coach, head coach. And I think he's going to learn a lot. And I think he's making a good move, too, because I think, Mark Richt could make Rozier a better quarterback than he is now, and maybe he's looking for the future, NFL maybe. So Rozier is not going to play baseball. And then coach, the manager of the University of Miami baseball team, totally understood. He said, go ahead and play football. Don't worry. If you ever want to come back, the doors are open. And his fellow players agreed with it too. So Rozier is sticking to football and not baseball. Let's see here. Should Pat Riley make a trade to get another scorer? In my opinion, I think he should. I think they need another scorer. I think Wade is the season just started. I don't know if Wade could go through a whole season. Chris Bosh will be good, and I think they just need another consistent scorer. I'm not sure about Gerald Green, inconsistent. A lot of turnovers in these last 3 games that they lost in a row. I like Dragic, but then again, he makes a lot of mistakes. He turns the ball over, and I think he's settling down a little bit, coming from a system that he ran in Phoenix where they were offensively minded, and here he's got to play a little defense. He's got to grab rebounds. He's got to do a bunch of other things. So he's getting a little better. But I think that Pat Riley will. You can always trust on Pat Riley. Pat Riley always makes the right moves, and he would do something to stir it up. He will do something to make this team a little better. We also talked about the Bengals cursed. Mayor didn't want to use the C word, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
So, he came up. He told us that he updated us with information that it's not broken. So that's good news for the Cincinnati Bengals.
No. I mean, no, they still have a great team.
Yeah.
It's just, it's like close but no cigar kind of thing. Because they've been having good seasons. They've been getting double-digit win seasons, winning the division and making it to the playoffs. I mean, it's just unfortunate that when they do make it to the playoffs, they lose their first game. And that's probably going to happen this year.
Yeah.
I mean, they still have a great team. The coach is great and everything. Andy Dalton has a history of just having bad games in the playoffs for whatever reason. I mean, I thought this year might be a little different, but I mean, now he broke his thumb and he's going to be out for a couple weeks.
The Herald came out with 2 back-to-back articles on Devontae Parker, Mikey Mike. We all know he had foot surgery before the season started, and he also some scar tissues were torn at the beginning of the season. That delayed him from playing. Your opinions on Devontae Parker? I think he's the future here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's definitely the future. I mean, we just drafted him, but yeah, he's got a boatload of talent. He runs like a 4.4.
Yep.
I mean, it's not the fastest, but I mean, it's faster than Landry. I mean, it's still pretty quick. I mean, 4.4, 4.3.
He's more of a possession receiver than he is, like you just mentioned, he's not really a fast guy that goes out and goes out for the ball.
I mean, I think he can though. I mean, if you have the right technique running routes, you can probably burn a couple people. He's a huge target.
He's a red zone chaos for defenses in the red zone, man. Because that guy could jump. He's tall. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's another thing. Yeah, he's got a great vertical. He could go up and get the ball, and he's the type of receiver that Tannehill needs because he's not the most accurate quarterback.
Right.
And tonight if they're going to play catch up with Odell and Eli, I mean, they got to feature Devontae Parker a lot more because Jarvis. I think to me, Jarvis is more of the possession receiver.
Yeah.
Because Jarvis is a great player, but to me, he's not like Odell. Odell has a boatload of talent and speed and size and vertical. Jarvis, whenever I think about him, he's just a football player. He's a really good, solid, tough football player.
Right.
But he doesn't show any physical flashes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they need to get Devontae Parker more involved in this offense. I mean, they need it.
Yeah. During the pregame, they're going to have did you hear about Landry and Beckham are going to get together? They're going to be some sort of show.
Some sort of catch
one-handed catch.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't get hurt, man, doing stuff like that. I don't know if Coughlin is going to agree with doing stuff, things like that, but I don't know.
I mean, I've heard that Landry has decent-sized hands, but,
yeah.
I mean, Odell's hands are huge.
Yeah.
Those are like Oronde Gadsden.
Oronde, you brought it back. And he's not. Gas is not one of the top 50 all-time Dolphin here. I don't see his name here.
No, he's not. He's not. I mean, he had a couple.
Mike Pouncey is.
That's.
There was another guy here that I was surprised to see him. Brent Grimes.
Yeah. Brent Grimes made it, and God, there was a couple names left off. I mean, did Sam and Pat made it? Right?
Oh, for sure.
I mean, Brent Grimes, like he's only been down here for what, 3 years?
He's only been here.
He's not even having a good season this year.
He's been here since 2013. I don't know how he got voted in.
Yeah, I don't understand how he got voted in the list. Like those
Sam
2
Madison.
years were great that he was here.
Yeah.
But I mean, was he here long enough to merit?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would put. I don't know.
Patrick Surtain made it. Sam Madison, Louis Oliver, couple guys that before our time here, but
I mean, I would put
Cameron Wake. He deserved it, right?
Cam's been here for a while, and he's been a great player. So yeah, he deserves it. But I mean, in a way, I think I might put Aronde over Grimes. I mean, just because Aronde was here, you know, for a longer tenure.
But I think they did them in positions, so that's why some guys got snubbed here.
I don't even think Chris Chambers is on there.
No, receiver. Nat Moore, deservedly so. Paul Warfield, I never saw him play, but I heard he was great. Mark Clayton, I saw play Duper. That's fine. McDuffie, McDuffie.
McDuffie was great.
He played from 93 to 2001. Ranks 4th on the team's all-time reception list with 415 receptions, and is 5th with 5,074 receiving yards, and led the team in catches for 3 seasons in a row. Yeah. Let's see here, guys. Keith Jackson. Do you remember Keith Jackson a little bit? Tight end.
Yes. Yeah. Faintly. Very like. When did you play? Like 2000.
He played from 92 to 94 with the Dolphins.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That was way before our time. I know his name though.
But he had some good years with the Eagles too. He came from the Eagles. Jim Mad Dog Mandich. He played from 1970 to 77, and we all know he was a big sports talk radio personality down here for many years. I used to listen to him a lot. He was great guy. Passed away from cancer. Mike Pouncey deserved it. Mike.
Yes. He deserves to be top 50. I don't know where I would put him, on the top 50, but yeah, he deserves to be there.
Keith Sims.
He's been here since what, 2011?
2011, right?
Yeah, and he's been a great center for us.
The great Richmond Webb, he deserves it. Dwight Stevenson, I never saw him play. I did see a little bit of Dwight Stevenson in the late 80s. Kuchenberg, that's before time. Larry Zonka, Mercury Morris, all these guys played in an undefeated season. Ricky Williams made
it. Yeah, Ricky was the focal point of our offense for a while.
Great. Yep.
For a couple years, 3-4 years.
Wanstead was the coach. Williams played seasons 2002 to 03, then 05 because he got suspended. 07 through 2010 with the Dolphins, and with 6,436 yards and 48 touchdowns rushing as a Dolphin. Yeah, I think he deserved being in the city. They got John Offerdahl, who owns all those bagel shops here in Miami and in Broward too.
Is Fiedler on there?
Jay Fiedler. No.
Pennington is?
Name the 3 quarterbacks I made. Obviously, Dan Marino.
Yeah.
So let's see if you can name the 2 other.
The 2 other ones?
Yeah, there's kind of going way back.
Bob Greasy's
Greasy, right
on there. Jesus, another one?
Earl Morrill.
Oh, Earl Morrill. Yeah, great backup. But isn't he like 24-3, like as a backup?
Well, he in the 17-0 perfect season, he was very influential. Part of that.
Yeah, because he carried him when Bob Greasy went down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he passed away too.
Let's see the running backs. All right, the running backs: Larry Zonka, Mercury Morris, Jim Kick, Tony Nathan. I remember Tony Nathan. Ricky Williams. We talked about. Yeah, the Dolphins never had like a great running back. You know what I'm saying? Like a really good. People, did you remember Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Yeah, he had like what 1,000-yard season.
Yeah, people thought he was going to be the next. I wouldn't say O.J. Simpson, but people had a lot of. They held him up in a high pedestal, thinking he was going to be a great running back. And again, like you said, he only had one great year. He rushed for 1,000 yards. All right, where are you going to watch the game tonight?
I'm probably gonna watch it at home.
Yeah.
Yep. That way I could, it's easier for me to concentrate.
Yeah.
I'm at my house. I got my couch. I might have my notepad there
Mhm.
to write some notes there. I get to listen to the broadcast, the little interesting facts that happen throughout the game.
Right.
Because if I go somewhere, like if I watch at a sports bar, everybody's gonna be
Oh, God.
loud,
Yeah,
and then they might not even have the volume on. So
Majority of the bars do put the volume up.
yeah, I
Like,
know.
where would you go if you were to go somewhere? Where would you go?
Oh man, I mean, ale houses are all nice. It gets really packed in there.
Yeah, you gotta go early.
Yeah,
to get a
you gotta
seat.
go early, get a seat. Man, it would have to be like a less crowded bar.
Yeah.
Like I
How about Duffy's? Have you gone to Duffy's yet?
Yeah, I went to Duffy's once or twice.
That's a nice. They got
Yeah, it
nice
is a
TV.
nice place.
It's very comfortable there. Food's good. Great TVs.
The problem is, like, my friends, they always want to go out and drink, but they never want to like eat somewhere. So I like drinking and eating. You
Of
know
course.
what I mean? Like,
Especially if you're gonna be sitting there for 5 hours
yeah, exactly.
watching a game. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I want to go to a nice place where we could sit down, get a little buzz, then enjoy our food in a
Right.
drunken state, and then
Right.
drink some more and watch the game. And
What's your opinion on what's going on with and let's go back to talking about the wide receivers that we have here with the Dolphins. In the paper, I think it was Barry Jackson wrote an article that, I wouldn't say luckily, but because things happen for a reason. Rashard Matthews
yeah,
went out with I think he had broken ribs, and that opened the door for Devontae Parker to play. Because if that were never happened, I think Devontae Parker would, he wouldn't have been a starter coming off the bench.
I mean, yeah, or he might be he might be
third down, whatever.
Yeah, third down. He might be there filling in for Kenny Stills here and there.
Right.
But yeah, he probably won't be on the field that much, which is surprising, man. I mean, the guy can obviously play. I mean, you saw him go up against the Ravens. But maybe his football IQ isn't there, because I know with with the Cardinals receiver Michael Floyd, they drafted, I think he was a first round pick.
Right.
And it took him like 3 years to finally.
Good point.
Yeah. So I mean, who knows what it is? I mean, but play the guy. I mean, the season's over.
Yeah.
Just play him, see what he's got.
Yeah. They got the Cardinals got John Brown, they got Michael Floyd, and they got Fitzgerald.
Yeah. And he's the most talented receiver on that team.
Right.
So
now,
I mean, you need to use him.
Now the article said that that this, with Parker playing, and like you just said, it's the end of the season. Let's give him more opportunities to catch. That takes some balls thrown to Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
And he's sort of a hothead. He was pissed.
Yeah.
What game was it against against the Ravens?
Yeah.
When they threw to him like a couple times, and he came out saying that he deserves the ball to be thrown to him more. So are we causing little chaos here within?
I don't think Jarvis is a hothead. I think he's like one of the leaders on that team, because during his last year, his rookie year, when Brian Hartline and Brandon Gibson were kind of throwing fits in the locker room, Jarvis was the one who stepped up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and was like, guys, chill out. Like, we're playing football. This is like the greatest thing ever. You know what I mean? Like, this is a dream come true for us. We shouldn't be, bickering about, balls getting thrown to who more than others. You know what I mean? But of course, he was getting all the catches.
Because at the beginning of the season, Landry was catching a lot of.
Yeah, no, I got him on my fantasy team. I need him to get me at least 9 points so I could win this week.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, no, he's not a hothead. I think it's just a combination of frustrations.
And he wants to win.
Yeah, he wants to win, and the expectations on the season before it even started, and then just the meltdown and all the mess that's gone on the whole season. It just kind of boiled up. The guy, I think he's a team player. I think he just wants to win, and he just got a little frustrated. I mean, I think he just got frustrated overall.
Yeah.
With the offense last week. I mean, 86 yards. I don't think he really cares if he doesn't get that many catches or not. But I mean, I think he was more.
What was reported? It was saying that he was ticked off because he didn't, and I think he even went to talk to Campbell about it. That he didn't. That's when how many times did they run the ball against the Ravens?
I know. Like, it was about his targets though.
Yeah, I guess they weren't enough thrown to his side, I guess.
Oh, I don't know.
Do you think
that offense went for 86 yards?
Yeah, no, it's horrible.
And in the whole game.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
And they rushed. I think Lamar Miller had 36 yards rushing. He rushed the ball like over 20 times.
I mean, it all comes back to Tannehill. I mean, it's his 4th year in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Kirk Cousins. Look what he's doing.
Right. Look at the front page of the Herald that came out saying statistics show Tannehill has taken a step back.
Yeah, I know. I saw that article.
And you can't get. And we talked about trying to get rid of him, but he's here for at least 3 more years, man.
3 more years? I don't think so. The way the contract is set up, I think like you got to keep him for 1 more year, and then I think you could cut bait with him.
But well, how would you do that?
What do you mean? I mean, if he
cut him and then just pay him the rest of the money that he.
No. It's not all guaranteed. It's a certain amount that's guaranteed per year.
Right.
Like the language in the contract. I mean,
I heard 45 million was guaranteed. I don't know if that's correct or not.
It technically is, but you're gonna get a couple. Like as long as you stick with the team.
Okay.
The first year you're gonna get whatever's guaranteed for that particular year, and if you stick with the team, the next year a little bit more. So technically, you get 45 million guaranteed, but that's if you stay all those years.
Okay.
For the contract, but I think I think you could cut bait with him after next year if he's playing bad.
Now, do you think Rashard Matthews? I don't think he's going to sign with the Dolphins.
No, I don't. I mean, with Tannehill thrown to you, why would you? It depends on how expensive he's going to be because he's going to be a free agent. And he's a pretty big name. I mean, he's been.
Somebody's gonna give him good
really
money,
well.
bud. You don't think somebody's gonna give him good money?
No, I think he will get big money. I don't think the Dolphins would keep him though because they already have Kenny Stills and Devontae Parker now.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the future there.
Yeah, I know. I would love to have Rashad on my team, but I mean, I don't blame him if he wants to go somewhere else and actually play with a real quarterback.
Yeah,
sure.
He proved all the Dolphin fans that he deserved to be one of the starters, one of the top receivers on the team. We talked about it last week how They drafted Devontae Parker. They brought him down on the depth chart, and he said, "No, hell no. I'm gonna play hard, practice hard, and I'm gonna try to win this position." And he did. So
yeah, and I'm glad he shut up all those Dolphins fans that got on his back when he demanded a trade. You know what I mean?
Right.
I understood his point. And I'm like, this guy can play, and if he's gonna be pushed back on the depth chart because you're signing more receivers,
right?
Then I'd be frustrated too because he's been playing really, really well.
Very well.
Both training camps the last couple of years.
All right, next week we'll get into we'll do playoff scenarios. We basically know who's going to win the divisions, but there's some wild card teams out there that on the bubble. What do you think of? Let's see here. I'm looking at the scores here. We talked a little bit about the Raiders and Broncos. There was what's your opinion on the Seahawks?
The Seahawks?
Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty hot. They finally got.
But if you go, I'm sorry, but if you go back to the games that they won,
yeah,
they were against lackluster teams, man. I think.
I know, but they dominated against the lackluster team. That's what you want to see.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like with when the Dolphins play a bad team, they're struggling. Like look at the Ravens, 86 yards.
Right. Okay.
It's terrible. Like you want to see knowing that your team's the better team in that game and having them prove it.
Is this a team you need to be looking out for?
Yeah, it's the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I know they struggled earlier in the season, but I think they're finally clicking. I mean, the passing game's really coming along now. Russell Wilson's airing it out. I know Thomas Rawls got hurt. I'm not sure how long he's going to be out. If I don't know if it's season ending or what the deal with that is, but the next running back needs to step up.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about this Mikey Mike is that they're going to be in as a wild card if they get in, and they're going to have to travel. They're going to have to be on the road on their first game because they're not going to win the division. They're 8-5. Arizona's 11-2. And
no, they could fit in the wild card, right?
Yeah, they could fit in the wild card. But I'm just saying that first game is going to be on the road for Seattle. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the records again. Yeah.
I mean, it depends on who they play against.
Right.
Who are they playing against?
Well, we don't know yet. That's why next week I want to do the scenarios. You could come up with some
NFL picks.
Yeah, we could do our see who has the the advantage, not the advantage, but see who's going to get into that wild card. And also, let's see here, division. Winners, Green Bay, Minnesota. That division's still up for grabs. Carolina's division, how about them? 13-0.
Yeah, okay, let's discuss it. Like, no, there's no discussion there.
Do you think they're gonna go undefeated?
They can. I mean, the rest of their schedule doesn't look too hard. I mean,
Cam's definitely the MVP of the league, right?
yeah, they could totally go undefeated.
Yeah.
And I don't care about that whole oh my god, I'm losing my train of thought here. With them going undefeated, you know how people are like, oh well, they went undefeated and then they lost the first playoff game, whatever, and then oh, that's because the undefeated thing went to the head. It doesn't even have to be that way. It could just be like, no, they just happened to lose that football game. Because I mean, even if they lose the next game, people are to be, oh, the undefeated thing went to their head. So either way, no matter if they go undefeated or lose it, once they lose that first game, that's what everybody's gonna say.
Yep.
I don't know. They're playing good football, and if you have the chance to go undefeated for a season, I mean, how many teams get to say that?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Patriots were the Dolphins of the Patriots were the only ones. So
Patriots lost in the Super Bowl.
I think the Colts could have done it, right? Did the Colts ever do it? Or they were going to do it, and then Caldwell arrested Peyton Manning.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, you got a good memory. The Bears almost did it. They lost to the Dolphins in '85.
Yeah.
Coach Shula came out saying that he's wishing and hoping that the Carolina Panthers go undefeated because his son is the offensive coordinator at Mike Shula.
Yeah.
In Carolina.
If you have the chance to do something special, that will stand, like a meaningful stat that will stand for a long, long, long time, I think you go out and do it.
All right, I think we got to go, man. We got a couple minutes left. I want to say thank you to Louis Chacon. He's the CEO of 247miami.tv. I know he's listening, so shout out to you, bud. Thanks for everything. Thanks for finding this fine young man here to produce the John Ech Show.
Thank you.
And we're gonna get it popping next week. I'm gonna take Mike out to dinner. It's Christmas dinner, so we like to do that here. Also, special thanks to the mayor who came on and talked NFL, NBA, and also to Troy Hall, who talked college football. And we'll have those guys back on next week, right here on 247miami.tv. Any final words here? Mike
Final words.
Go Dolphins!
I know. I really would like them to win. I mean, God, man, it would really make my day. I mean, you wait an extra day just to watch your team play. So you really want them to like.
End the season strong.
Yeah, just play good, please.
Please,
Tannehill. I don't care if we lose the game. Just look good, please. So I don't have to talk about how terrible you are.
I should have. Who the Dolphins got these next 3 games? I'm gonna look it up real quick before we get the hell out of here. They got San Diego next week.
That could be a win.
Okay, and then
I don't know. It depends on how much Rivers wants.
The Colts here at home.
Ooh.
And then I know we got to get out of here. Then New England.
Yeah, New England's a loss. But the other.
Well, you never know. New England might pack it up and say we got the. I don't know.
It's possible, but that's only if they do that.
Yeah.
I mean, the Chargers and the Colts, I think are
winnable games.
I think our defenses can get keep us in those games because with the pressure on those quarterbacks.
Yep.
And Tannehill needs to make plays when he needs to make plays.
Gotta make plays, Tannehill. Come on.
Yeah. Run the ball and let him throw it here and there.
Great job, Mike and Mike. Let's get the hell out of here. Peace.
Yeah, let's do it. There we go. I don't need to play a break, right? Oh.